are you guys doing? My name is Sarah, and this is my first video as shooting for the Rare Plant House, which is my plant shop online. And today's video is going to be looking at the different kinds of monsteras. And the reason I'm making this video is because this has happened to me where somebody ordered a monstera on my store and it was labeled as Monstera standeliana albo variegata, and the person came back and wound up canceling the order, which is fine, but they really wanted a Monstera albo borsigiana albo variegata. And I want to go through a couple of different kinds of monsteras. We'll go through the traditional, what everybody thinks of as the albo variegata, monstera, albo, blah, blah, blah. And we're also going to go through a couple of other types of monsteras, just so that, like, if you're buying a gift for somebody this holiday season, or if you're buying a gift for you, I want you to know what kind of monstera you're buying. So we're going to go through a couple of the different types just so that you know what to look for when you're buying on somebody's store. These are marked on my store. Like, I have monstera, and then I have, if it's a deliciosa or a standeliana, I have that variation next to the species name. So just something to be aware of, and then just kind of to know what you're looking at. I think that would be really helpful. So you're gonna be looking at plants more than me today, so lucky you. But I hope that you find this video helpful, and if you could like and subscribe this video and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a video, I would be very grateful. And yeah, let's get into the video. Here we go. I'm gonna turn you around now. I'm gonna just pan you through the monsteras that we are going to be taking a look at today before I start to talk about the different ones. And I've got, not all of these, I'll step back here a little bit. Not all of these are going to be for sale in my store, but you might come across them if you're on another site or if you're on Etsy or eBay. Yeah. Okay. So this one that we're going to start with is, actually, I'm going to start with the traditional one that everybody knows, or wants, the most popular one in my opinion at this time, is the Monstera albo borsigiana albo variegata. Okay, so, and it's funny because I even said that wrong. There's a glare on the tag. It's Monstera deliciosa albo variegata, and then the type is borsigiana. And it's basically a small variegated form of your traditional large monstera deliciosa. This one has variegation in it, meaning that it's got white and lighter green marbling patches over the dark green patches, but there is just a green version of this that you can find. Variegation's pretty hot right now, like very popular, so this will go for more, but what you're looking for is, I want you to know what the plant looks like. Just, you'll see marbling, let me pick this up, you'll see marbling in the stem, and then you're gonna see different patches of variegation on the leaves. And this is a 2-leaf top cutting that I will actually put up for sale in my store, but I want you to know that it is usually called, you might see different names like Monstera albo. So Monstera albo, you might see, it's not a pretty angle, sorry, you might see Monstera deliciosa variegata, Monstera deliciosa albo, or maybe Monstera borsigiana albo. There are a bunch of different combos, but you might see something like that. Okay, so that's what you're buying. And I'm not going to go over prices, but expect to pay for something like this. I've been selling one leaf mid cuttings, which is not the top cutting of the plant. It's like a node in the middle with a leaf and a healthy aerial root potted, for about $220. So that's one leaf. So a top cutting you might pay, like this one is going to have, it's got a healthy root system, and it's got a new, there's my little finger, there we go. It's going to have a new leaf coming out of this leaf right here. So there's going to be a new leaf forming. It's got a nice amount of variegation on it. So I could probably sell this for maybe $350. So somewhere in that range. Whether you agree with me or not on price is not what I'm after here. I'm just giving you just an idea, okay? So 3 digits is about what you can expect to pay for one leaf, and then it could go up from there. But that's what the plant looks like. So if you're looking for a Monstera albo or something like that, this is what you should be buying, okay? Now, we're going to go into, I'm going to move this guy, and I want to go into the plant that I have in my store that has caused a little bit of confusion. And I don't have an amazing version of this that's I do, it's in my grow tent though, and it's like huge to pull out. So these are cuttings that I've taken some propagations, but on my website here's the tag, okay, and it says Monstera standeliana albo variegata. So albo variegata just means white variegation. Standeliana is the type of Monstera that it is, the variety. So a standeliana looks very different. This is variegated. You can see it's not as variegated as the Monstera that I showed you, but Monsteras that are variegated can have different levels of variegation. And generally, the more variegation you have, the higher price you're probably going to wind up paying. And the inverse is true. If you just have a green form with no variegation, that looks good. Ooh, the light's changing. Sorry. If you have a form with no variegation, you can expect to pay a lot less. So, but this is what a juvenile form of this looks like. This is a cutting that I took and I rooted in some sphagnum moss, and I haven't potted it up yet, but it is ready to be potted. And then this is another one. I don't know what I did with the tag, but oh, sorry, I put it over to the side, like silly me. But this is another, this one's potted. It's just in a 2.5 inch nursery pot. And when somebody gets this, they can, I'm actually going to be mailing this one out this afternoon. But this has, you can tell it's got some nice white. You can see that marbling in the stem, like on the Deliciosa borsigiana that I showed you, and it's got a new leaf coming in here, which is cool too. So this plant is going to be really nice for the person that I'm going to be sending it to. But they ordered a Monstera standeliana albo variegata, okay? And this is what happened to me. Somebody wanted, this happened a couple months ago, but somebody wanted this plant. And what they ordered on my website, or actually I think it was on eBay, was this plant. Now, these are 2 different varieties of a Monstera. So I want to caution you, they are both variegated. They are both Monsteras, but you've got the Deliciosa here and then the Standeliana there, okay? So, and I'm going to go over a couple other Monstera types, but those are the 2 that I really wanted to focus on for the purposes of this video, because that has happened to me already, and if it happens once, it's going to happen again. Okay. So, this one is not for sale. This is one of my personal plants that I'm growing out, and I eventually hope to be able to sell it. But this is a Monstera adansonii albo variegata, okay? So it's a variegated monstera, just like the two that we talked about, but this form is it's an Adansonii. This variety, sorry. It's variegated, and yeah, it's growing. It's my plant, and it's not for sale yet. Okay, now we're gonna go over another monstera that I do or will be. I have a picture of it on my website, but it's not actually up yet. I have sold it before, and I've got a bunch that I'm ready to sell now. So this is, and I didn't talk about this a lot, but I will put it in the frame with this one really quick, just so you can see the difference. So these are both Adansonii. These two right here are not variegated. This one and the one in the purple pot. And this one is variegated Adansonii. This is called, these two right here, they have nice fenestrations, but they're not just, they're a subspecies of the Monstera Adansonii. So these are called Monstera Adansonii subspecies Blancketii. And I love these. I know you're not here for my opinion, but I think these are just really beautiful. So here's like a one leaf cutting, one node cutting. It's got a new leaf on the way. Again, not variegated, so probably you're looking at for something this size, low, like, or high, maybe a higher, mid to high 2-digit range. This one, actually, I don't know that I'm gonna sell this one, but I do have smaller ones, so probably like 50 to 75, I would say, US dollars. And then that bigger one, I'm not sure, because shipping that could be kind of a nightmare. But here's the tag. So look for the name Monstera, but then look for the name next to it. And I know not all plant tags are the same, but look and see if it says, or on the website, look at the title. And if it says like Adansonii, know that that's different than the Deliciosa or the Standeliana, or an Adansonii, and then, or just a regular Adansonii, and then look for maybe a subspecies like Blancketii, or look for, if you're looking for variegated, look for the letters VAR or Albo VAR. Albo is just ALBO. Yeah, so sorry, my language skills are going down the tube. But you can see that these look pretty similar because they're monsteras. They're both Adansonii. The one here is variegated. These are not variegated. I haven't seen, they probably exist, but I have not seen a variegated version of the subspecies, the Blancketii subspecies. But you never know. So, and again, I'm not going to talk too much more about this. It was just to show you the difference. And actually, I'm going to pull in the last one that I wanted to talk about, but I'm not selling this year. This is an obliqua, a Monstera obliqua. And I think it's I'll have to check. I'll put it on the screen what form it is once I verify, because I can never remember. But look at the holes. See the little holes on there? See the holes on there? Little fenestrations, holes on there. And these guys eventually will get like that too. These are really small, but see the fenestrations on there. So, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of clear that up and just give you some, just some knowledge of like what you're buying. I don't have a plant tag for this because it didn't come with one and I haven't made it yet, but it would say like Monstera obliqua, and then I would have the country. I can't remember if it's Peru or Bolivia. But yeah, Adansonii, variegated, Adansonii, Monstera Adansonii, Blancketii, subspecies not variegated, variegated Monstera albo, which is what people I think are typing in. And I just want you to be careful to make sure that you get the right plant, because these are all Monsteras, but they're all very different. So I don't want you to type in, like, let's say you're searching on Etsy and you type in Monstera albo, and maybe that pops up and that pops up, and it's already happened to me. This pops up. And you may not know what exactly it is that you're looking for, right? So a Monstera albo could have any of these plants. These are all variegated plants in the description or in the tag in the search terms. So when you type in Monstera albo, make sure that you know, if you're buying a plant for somebody, what kind of plant they want. Do they want the Monstera standaleyana? Do they want the Borsigiana variety? Do they want the Adansonii? Do they want a variegated version of the plant? Or, sorry, that's my oven. Do they want the non-variegated version of the plant? So I hope that this is helpful. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab some cuttings I took of a couple more Monsteras, I think. Maybe it's just one, but I'll be right back. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. I was going to pick up the different plants, but this is like this is my life right now, so this is just like crazy. I chopped up my one of my Monsteras that I'd split into like 4 separate plants, so I'm just gonna show you this all because these are all Monstera albos. So I thought it would be a good lesson just so that you can see the different, like what the different levels of variegation and also the different fenestrations can look like. So this is a Monstera albo, the Borsigiana type, the Deliciosa Borsigiana, like, sorry, it's a lot to say. But this is a more juvenile leaf, but it's still a pretty good leaf. I mean, it's pretty good. There's my hand. Let me see if I can, yeah. So, I mean, I have small hands, so I'm like 5 feet tall, so I have pretty small hands, but yeah. That's a pretty small leaf. And then we pan over here, and this is also a Monstera Deliciosa albo variegata Borsigiana type, but it's a bigger leaf and it's got much larger fenestrations. It's just a little bit more mature than that one. Just in case you're wondering, these are Philodendron gloriosums right here. They will be up in my shop at some point at therareplanthouse.com. Here is another. Actually, this is kind of cool. These are 2. Sorry, I know I'm all over the place. So this is one. Same plant, Borsigiana, Monstera deliciosa. And then this is another one. And it's got, see, this has like fenestrations, and then it's even got like the little holes. And it's a smaller plant. It gets a smaller leaf, but in a way it's a more mature leaf because you're not going to have these types of fenestrations and these holes on an older leaf. But a leaf like this probably won't sell as well, because if people are looking for a variegated Monstera albo deliciosa Borsigiana, if they're looking for that plant, they usually, and it's got a little bit of damage, which I don't really care about, but I know people that buy these do, and it's got a little bit of like light damage from the grow light in my tent, but it's a really nice leaf. It's beautiful. I really like it, and that's not really the point, but here, let's take it next to this one. Now, this is the same plant, came off of the same plant, right? A different branch of the plant, but it was still the same mother plant that I cut this from. And the variegation on this one, meaning the white parts, look very different from this, which has more green. And I'll go into my spiel. Why not just make it a Monstera video? This leaf is really beautiful. Sorry, that's my backyard out there. But this leaf is really beautiful. It really is. But if I was going to buy a plant, honestly, I would rather buy a plant maybe that was in between. Maybe it was something more like this leaf. It's nice. It's big. It's got fenestrations and the holes. This was a top cutting. You can see the new leaf is coming out. And then there's the other leaf. Sorry, I'm not great at my video skills yet. Oh, wait, maybe I can zoom out. Yeah, there we go. And these are just all potted in moss right now. They're in transition. But yeah, this technically is a healthier leaf than this one is, because at some point this could, as this grows, this leaf won't grow, but as more leaves grow from this node, you can see on the stem here that there's a lot of white and well, of course I'm wrong. There's green and there's a lot of white too. So this could have a much higher chance of reversion into all white. And if you have a plant that is all white, like if you have an all white leaf, that part of the leaf will not photosynthesize. So if you have a leaf that does have a little bit of damage like this one does, it burned because there's no chlorophyll in these parts of the leaf. So the leaves grow slower because they're not solid green. And then this white part that you're paying quite a bit of money for, because it looks beautiful, is actually, is the underside, is actually, what's the word I want to say? Like a genetic, it's actually a bad gene. It's actually not healthy for the plant to look like this as it is to look all green versus maybe a little bit of variegation. So also, that's another key here, is just knowing that there are different levels of variegation on, in this case, any Monstera that is variegated. Okay, my light went out, so hold on one second. Okay, hopefully that gives us enough light. Now, over here, I realize this is sad. I have not potted these up yet. Actually, I haven't even cut them. This is another Monstera adansonii, subspecies Blancketii. And there's a pretty mature leaf. It's got a new one coming. But you can see, you can see the smaller ones on that vine. So I'll probably cut that up into like 2 or 3 cuttings. Ooh. Here, this needs water badly, but I made these cuttings on Sunday and I just have not had a chance to pot them yet. But this is the Monstera standeliana alba variegata, so the leaves do get bigger, and they've got more like flecks of that whitish cream. And then let's see, here's another one. So the variegation, sorry about my watch, the variegation isn't a lot, but it is in there, and each leaf can look different. Like I've had some with a half moon, which is really cool. Now this we haven't even talked about in this video. This is a Monstera species Peru, and this is not variegated. I've seen, it's really pretty though. I only have one of this plant, and this is the first cutting I took of it. It's so beautiful. So, but again, you're not here for my opinion necessarily. I really need to get these potted up today. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. And those are some philodendron pink princesses. So if you are looking for what's coming up for Christmas time, that's just a little bonus tour. But the point, this is another Monstera albo, but the point was to make a video on Monsteras, and yeah, I included some other plants. So hopefully you enjoyed that part. And if you didn't, then you've probably clicked off the video anyway by now. So, okay, hold on one second. I'm gonna turn you back around so you can see me. Okay, hi, I'm back. So again, I'll just say it one more time. My name is Sarah, and I'm the owner of the Rare Plant House. I'll leave a link to my website, the Rare Plant House, haus.com, and I'll also put it up here on the screen. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you could like and subscribe, I would be very grateful. And send this video to a friend if you found it valuable. So just one more time, we reviewed the different kinds of Monsteras that there are available on the market, and just be aware when you're buying this holiday season that you buy the right Monstera for you, the right Monstera that you are looking for. Okay, bye.